I've come home to Dublin to tell you a story about America. It's my story, but it's your story too.
A homecoming in the Bay Area today for one of the newest candidates for president. Good evening, I'm Juliette Goodrich.
And I'm Brian Hackney. Congressman Eric Swalwell launched his first campaign rally at his former high school.
Let's go straight to KPIX 5's Katie Nielsen with more on the rally in Dublin. Katie.
Julian, just a few hours ago, the plaza here at Dublin High School was packed with hundreds of Swalwell's supporters. Now, Swalwell is a long-shot presidential candidate. He doesn't have much national name recognition, and he is the 18th Democrat to throw his hat into the ring. In front of a hometown crowd at the high school where he graduated, four-term Congressman Eric Swalwell asked for community support in his bid for the White House.
I've come back here to Dublin, backed by my neighbors who have always been in my corner to declare my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Swalwell laid out his campaign platforms about wage growth, affordable health care, and clean energy, but made it clear his top priority is gun control.
I'm the only candidate proposing that we ban and buy back every single assault weapon in America.
This was the first campaign rally since Swalwell announced his candidacy on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Monday.
I'm running for President of the United States.
That's official.
Thank you. It's official.
Now it's official.
Boy, did it feel good to say that.
A fitting announcement for a congressman who's been a popular guest on political cable talk shows because he's an outspoken critic of President Trump. But he still doesn't have much national name recognition.
Now, I know that the mountain that I face is steep. You may have heard there are a few other Democrats interested in the job.
KPIX 5's political reporter Melissa Kane says while Swalwell is a long-shot candidate, there's no downside to running for president, and he can still benefit even if he doesn't win.
He could be angling for a cabinet position like Dr. Ben Carson got. He could also be angling to just raise his profile statewide, maybe in anticipation of running for Kamala Harris's seat if she moves on.
Supporters say no matter what happens, it's still exciting to be part of a presidential campaign kicking off right here in the Tri-Valley.
I'm a Dublin High alumni, and I wanted to support Eric, and I also think it's a unique opportunity with potential history in the making.
I've been following him for the last year and a half, and he's been a great voice for the Democratic Party.
This is where Eric came from, and I think it's good. And it says that, look, I haven't gotten too big and I haven't outgrown my roots, right?
Swalwell has not made any official announcement about whether he will seek re-election for his current U.S. House of Representatives seat, but the filing deadline isn't until December, so he has plenty of time to see if his presidential bid can get off the ground. Now, already, a Hayward City Councilwoman, Aisha Wahab, has announced she will be running for that seat. Now, Swalwell's next campaign stops are next week in Nevada and New Hampshire. Live in Dublin, Katie Nielsen, KPIX 5.
And let's take a live look out at Dublin right now. The breeze has created clear conditions across the Bay Area, but Brian tells us we have some changes in store for the start of the work week. Brian.
We do, in fact. As you saw in that picture, there's plenty of clouds around the Bay Area, and those clouds are going to thicken up overnight and produce rain. About 20 hours from now, tomorrow afternoon. The breakfast forecast does show it's not going to be wet in the early going. We're going to be looking at increasing clouds tomorrow early morning, but by midday, low pressure is going to send a front south and then right into the Bay Area. Fast mover, though. The amounts won't be great. So we'll look for mostly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will spread south tomorrow, clearing Tuesday. 80s will return by Thursday, so it's going to be a mixed bag kind of a week with showers tomorrow and then kind of dramatically warmer weather by the end of the week. Details when we cover the forecast in a few minutes. Jules?
We have new details to tell you about on a deadly hit and run. Oakland police continue the hunt for the driver accused of hitting and killing a mother and her young child. The crash happened last night around 7:30 at 26th Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. The scene at a busy intersection. Police say a black Mercedes-Benz struck 3 pedestrians in a crosswalk. Authorities confirming a 30-year-old woman and her 6-year-old son have died. A 19-year-old man still in critical condition at Highland Hospital. Police say the suspect's car was found in another part of the city. We're now learning the names of the two victims, the mother, Alma, and her son, Anel. These photos given to us to KPIX 5 by the family. Neighbors in the area say cars tend to speed up on this busy street.
They just keep going and going and going. It takes you 10, 15 minutes to get across the street right there because nobody will slow down. And then if you do get in the intersections, here comes somebody and they'll come right all the way up. You don't know if they're going to stop, and if you try to go back, you got them coming from the other side. You know what I mean? You could get hit at any time.
Candles and flowers have been placed near the site of the crash, and mourners trying to make sense of the tragedy. Police say the suspect has been tentatively identified but is not in custody, and we will keep you updated with the latest.
But a string of church break-ins in one San Francisco district that has got some of the congregations on guard. Break-ins are happening in the Bayview district. Police say 5 churches have been targeted in 11 days. The suspect accused of breaking desks and cabinets and even stealing ice cream. In one case, a safe was pried open. No cash was found. One deacon says churches' attendance is declining, and so the regard for what they stand for is declining as well.
The church was always like a sacred place where everybody had respect for it, you know, and it's just like today, it seems like there's no respect for anything at all.
Police say that they'll hold a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the church burglaries. Representatives from all denominations have been invited to speak.
In Concord, more than 24 people, including children and infants, were sickened after being exposed to a pepper spray fight. It happened around 7 last night at the Jungle Amusement Center at the Willows Shopping Center on Diamond Boulevard. Police say about 25 to 30 people were sprayed. Some of those affected were vomiting or complaining of difficulty breathing. Crews treated everyone on scene, but those involved in the fight took off before police arrived. Now, police are reviewing surveillance video and speaking to witnesses to try to identify the suspects.
A tow truck that plunged into the Sacramento River has been recovered with a woman's body inside. Divers and a barge crew hoisted the truck up to the surface this morning. The engine is missing. Multiple windows are broken. The truck went off the Pioneer Bridge back in late March. The driver's body was later found floating downstream. Now it's thought the body in the truck is that of his wife, Rosalind Sharma. They were the owners of a local towing company.
The truck coming out of the water, we can now give you positive confirmation that the body of Miss Sharma, we suspect Miss Sharma is inside the vehicle.
The currents are fairly strong there, so that did not help rescue efforts. Divers had to deal with zero visibility at the bottom, 30 feet visibility below, 30 feet below the surface.
Well, neighbors in Gilroy are on alert this evening after a mountain lion was spotted. A resident called police after seeing the big cat on the prowl near their back door on Welborn Avenue around 7 last night. But the mountain lion didn't stick around for very long. Police say neighbors had food in their backyard, which may have attracted the animal.
Senator Kamala Harris has now released 15 years of tax returns in a move to show transparency during her run for the presidency. In their 2018 return, Harris and her husband reported an income of nearly $2 million. That includes her Senate salary and the $320,000 she made writing a book. Together, Harris and attorney Doug Emhoff paid more than $500,000 in federal tax in 2018. Their tax rate on average has been about 32% since they married 5 years ago. Newly released records cover every year since Harris was elected San Francisco DA back in 2004.
Well, today another Democrat officially launched his White House run. Pete Buttigieg is mayor of South Bend, a medium-sized city in Indiana. He is a 37-year-old Rhodes Scholar and a veteran of the war in Afghanistan. Now a full-fledged candidate, he'll return this week to the early voting states of Iowa and New Hampshire. Former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown believes being a mayor is good training for the presidency.